To help my best friend Emma pursue her secret crush, the overbearing CEO James, I pretended to pursue James's close friend David to investigate his whereabouts every day. Everyone called us sisters affectionately. I didn't mind this, for my best friend, what's a little mudslinging? Later, when James's first love returned to the country, Emma was heartbroken and decided to give up. I also decisively blocked James's brother and vowed not to share the same sky with them. But then that untouchable flower on the high peak, David, with red eyes, blocked me in a corner and kissed me fiercely, saying, "Which time have I not responded? Which time have I rejected you? Deceiving someone's feelings comes with consequences, sweetheart." Emma had pursued James with all her effort for 2 months, but the progress was still stuck at 0. She delivered meals daily, picked him up from parties unfailingly, supplied drinks on sunny days and umbrellas on rainy days. Wherever James was, she was there. But James remained unmoved. Recently, he even started avoiding her. "Aren't you childhood friends?" I couldn't help asking. "You don't understand, we wealthy folks play it rough," Emma broke down on the spot. Just as I finished rolling my eyes and was about to dive back into my work project, Emma suddenly grabbed my hand excitedly, exclaiming, "Sophia, wherever James is, David is bound to be nearby. Go flirt with David, and I'll know James's movements." "Are you nuts, miss? With my status, how dare I flirt with him? David is famously the untouchable flower on the high peak, born into a dynasty of overbearing CEOs. As for me, I'm a worker pulling a measly $13,000 monthly salary while my boss denies any raise. Oh, if they dare bully you, I'll buy a hot search topic claiming they bully the poor. That kind of thing gets roasted fast nowadays. Plus, David is known for his good temper, he won't bother you." "Thanks a lot." Under Emma's urging, I proactively added David on WeChat. Starting with "Hello to I've made some soup, would you like me to send you some?" I morphed into a top-tier simp just like Emma. Even more devoted than her, providing for every need with impeccable attitude. Her strategy proved spot on. Every time I asked David about his location or activities to gather intel, James was usually present. "David, where are you? I've prepared some chicken soup. James is on a business trip. He'll return next Monday." As if reading my mind, David cut straight to the point. "See, I told you you're too obvious." A seasoned simp must master retreating to advance, lowering visibility for a decisive strike. I thought meeting up 6 times out of 10 was scientific enough, but Emma? Every single time was an accident. She'd show up grinning guiltily like a thief, declaring, "What a coincidence, James, you're here too." "He's avoiding me all the way abroad now," Emma muttered gloomily. "Sophia, do you think James truly can't stand me?" Seeing her so upset, I softened. "Impossible, he's an overbearing CEO, legit busy. Look at our slave driver boss from that tiny company, he's constantly traveling. What if James really was away?" Keeping David steady meant hope remained. For my best friend's happiness, I still packed the lunchbox and headed over. Outside his office building, I was predictably stopped again. The receptionist smiled sweetly but muttered under her breath, "How many times now? Girls these days will stop at nothing to marry into money." Totally, David doesn't even acknowledge her. "Hello, David, I've left the soup downstairs for you." As usual, after messaging David's phone, I turned to leave tactfully. But before I reached the door, I collided with him stepping out of the elevator. "Sophia." This seemed to be the first time he'd spoken my name. My heart skipped a beat. "David." "Hello. What a coincidence, haha." David sighed and glanced in the direction of the front desk where the chicken soup was. "Didn't I say that James is abroad?" "You've misunderstood. I really just wanted to bring you the chicken soup. It was really just a coincidence last time." "Oh." He raised his eyebrows, with suspicion and inquiry in his eyes. "Really, I really wanted to pursue you." After saying that, I felt my face burning red. But for Emma's plan to pursue her love, I still forced myself to continue fabricating. Emma was really just accompanying me. As a strategist, she has to be on site to guide, right? Haha. For a moment, I suddenly felt quite lucky. I was glad that James, the cool-headed tycoon's good friend, had a good temper and generally didn't make things difficult for others. If it were some other tycoons, I'm afraid I'd already be thrown out of the door. David let out a soft snort, and his pale lips curved into an arc. Then I won't disturb you anymore. Seeing that he didn't say anything else, I bowed and was about to leave. Suddenly, he grabbed me. His warm breath tickled my ear, making my heart flutter. Someone who's trying to pursue me always calls me you so formally. You're quite polite. My mind went blank. Damn, this ingrained humility of a subordinate. Since I was ridiculed by David at the Shin group and fled in embarrassment last time, I started my online love-sick puppy life. One reason was that James was not around, and the other was that the last time was really too embarrassing. For an ISTJ like me, it was no different from being publicly executed. According to the love-sick puppy rules, as long as I'm not mocked to my face by the person I'm pursuing, it means I haven't failed yet. I started to learn from my mistakes. I never used the formal you again and boldly tried non-love-sick puppy addresses. David? David replied with a question mark right away. Oh no, he read it so fast. I was actually a bit nervous and wanted to take it back after sending it. I wasn't really afraid of anything else, mainly afraid that they'd think I was crazy and talk about me behind my back as that crazy woman. After quickly sending a message saying take care of yourself and don't stay up late working overtime, I closed the chat window. He didn't reply. Good, very much like a tycoon. James still hadn't come back. Emma was really bored and asked me to go shopping with her. Considering that I could always get some high-end shopping items from her, I reluctantly put down my work and rushed out. While I was thinking about which of Emma's things I could rip off later, she suddenly poked me. Hey! Hey! David. I followed her gaze and saw David turning his head to talk to a girl beside him, smiling gently. It was a nice scene, but for some reason, it was a bit blinding. Sophia, I'm sorry. I really didn't know. Emma looked a bit guilty. He really never had a girlfriend before. It's okay, I patted her. Wasn't it just a pretense to pursue him anyway? Don't you have any feelings for him? Because he has a really good temper. I asked you to get close to him before, also hoping to match you two up. Stop. Seeing that she was about to say more, I interrupted her. I equally hate every capital tycoon. Maybe our commotion was a bit too loud. David suddenly looked over here. At that moment, I actually felt a bit nervous and guilty, as if I'd been caught doing something wrong. I grabbed Emma and quickly left. After this incident, I didn't have the mood to continue shopping. So I made an excuse that I had to go back to write a proposal and said goodbye to Emma. While waiting for the bus, I suddenly saw David walking over from a distance. Thinking of the girl just now, I was afraid that he'd think I was waiting for him on purpose. I turned around and quickened my pace, trying to escape the scene. After all, being called a love-sick puppy in public or being too close to him were both very embarrassing things. I'm in the PR business. If someone took a picture of me and it made it onto the trending list, and the media people saw it and posted it on their social media, how could I face anyone? David suddenly called out to me, Sophia, stop. I stopped abruptly and stopped trying to run away. Mr. Brown, what a coincidence, haha. He strode up to me. What are you running from? Huh? I wasn't running. I forced an awkward smile, not daring to meet his gaze. David remained silent for a long time. When I finally looked up, puzzled, I met a pair of dark eyes brimming with amusement. Not David anymore? Back to Mr. Brown? Are you being a keyboard warrior? His words left me completely speechless. He had no idea how much mental preparation it took for me to send those flirty texts. Just as I was turning crimson with embarrassment and scrambling for a response, the taxi driver's call came through perfectly timed. My ride's here. Goodbye and good night. Without waiting for his reply, I immediately slid into the car and shut the door. My already unsteady heartbeat turned frantic when my phone lit up with the message coward. Something felt different, subtly shifted. The day James returned, Emma hadn't even left for the airport when she froze on the spot, stunned by the hashtags flooding her feed, hashtag the power off first love and hashtag real life drama mirroring fiction. It's a publicity stunt. Definitely a publicity stunt, I blurted, covering my phone screen. But Emma just laughed uncharacteristically. Sophia, just drop it. Since childhood, James had always been aloof, few daring to approach him. But Emma had clung to him since their earliest years, something he never outright refused. Though he'd sometimes grumble about it, he still remembered every little thing she mentioned. During university orientation, she casually mentioned craving osmanthus pastries from the east side of town. James drove halfway across the city overnight to get them. Back then, I totally shipped them. Even now, their apartments face each other across the hall. Both families occasionally joked they should just get married already. Yet from graduation till now, James made no moves. I'd assumed the domineering boss had his own mysterious rhythm. Or some wealthy family secrets? Who knew he had another first love waiting in the wings? Jerk! In the bar booth, our ranting grew louder and fiercer. Eventually, Emma pulled out her phone and blocked James. Sophia, swear you'll never let me contact James again, she demanded. All right, I said, steadying her drunken form as we staggered out. Such lightweight drinkers shouldn't try drowning their sorrows. What an embarrassment for trust fund kids. As if confirming the saying fear summons the very thing you dread, my worries about running into James while taking Emma home materialized right at the gated entrance. Not only him, David was there too. Driven by my vow to confront cheaters, I instantly covered Emma's eyes and tried ignoring them. What's with all the drinking? James frowned, scooping Emma into a bridal carry the next second. Give her back! I snapped, ready to fight for her. These crazy guys with their theatrical antics, holding someone they supposedly didn't care about. Who did they think they were, soap opera leads? But before I could lunge, David intercepted me with an arm around my waist, sighing like a weary parent. Silly girl, is hauling her around worth it? You can barely walk straight yourself. His warm breath grazing my ear sent shivers through me, suddenly weakening my resolve. Just keep your hands off Emma, I mumbled defensively. She'll be fine, I promise. Gently turning me to face him, he bent down to my eye level. His expression softened, his voice a calm, velvety murmur. Let me take you home, okay? This was why I preferred tycoons with manners. After a brief internal debate, I flashed a smile and pointed toward Emma's place. Nope. I need to see her home first. When David guided me to Emma's doorstep, James's frown deepened as he opened the door. His questioning glare at David held clear disapproval. Maybe the alcohol fueled it, but my usual intimidation toward powerful CEOs vanished, replaced by a rebellious spark. You don't need to see David. I took a step in, turning the tables. Gesturing to him with a please motion, since men and women are different, Emma doesn't need you to take care of her, James. Please leave. She insisted, David said helplessly, spreading his hands, and reminding me to charge my phone. After shutting them out, I saw Emma sleeping soundly in the bedroom, with a glass of warm water on the bedside table. I must never tell her that James had contact with her today, or she'll go crazy over him again. Must not let her repeat the same mistakes. The next morning, I was awakened by the buzzing of the phone on the bedside table. I poked my head out of the covers, reached for the phone, and as soon as I answered, a deep male voice came through. Awake? Beside me, Emma, who was like a dead body, suddenly flipped over and looked at me with a probing glance, full of mischief. I coughed tactically twice. David, what do you need? Come to the door, I brought you breakfast. I immediately sprang up, tidied myself a bit. Under Emma's shocked gaze, what's going on with you? I went to open the door. Don't rush, go put on some shoes. As soon as I opened the door, before I could even greet him, David frowned. Hold on, it's the middle of summer, and the whole house has wall-to-wall carpeting. Why should I wear shoes? What's it going to chill? Stop watching so many romance dramas. David, Emma's place has wall-to-wall carpeting, I said carefully. The man froze for a second, cleared his throat with a fist, and handed over what he was holding. I brought you breakfast. James had something to attend to and left early. All right, thanks, David. I took it, noticing his earlobes had turned bright red. Wow, even tycoons blush when embarrassed. As I was about to close the door, he suddenly stopped me. "No need to call me David every time," he said softly. "Just call me normally." "Oh, okay." Standing in front of the dining table after closing the door, I realized, call normally? Isn't normally calling a tycoon just Mr. last name or something? Use his first name? You're not yourself, Emma suddenly spoke. What's going on between you and David? What do you mean what's going on? I lowered my head, a bit guilty, avoiding her gaze. He said James had something and left, meaning this was brought for you by James, with me just tagging along. Emma's expression darkened, her smile tinged with bitterness. When I say I'm over it, I really am over it. No need to comfort me like this, I'm fine. You spilled half your plain porridge on the table, doesn't look like you're fine. So, would you make him chase after love and get burned? Emma took a deep breath, turned to me and said through gritted teeth, first, he'd have to be interested in me for that to be possible. Second, I wanted to punch you last night. If you can't comfort people, say less. And also, last time when I saw David shopping with a woman, I told you to cancel the mission. She moved closer, her gaze sharp. What's going on with you? Want to taste the bitterness of love too? What kind of talk is that? I was a bit caught off guard. I just hadn't gotten around to blocking him yet. I'll do it now. From now on, wherever they are, we won't be. Probably to make it up to me, Emma recommended several quality guys to me. Although I was quite satisfied, they still fell a bit short compared to the Ivy League dream guy. To deepen my connection with the younger brothers, Emma specifically organized a get-together. Originally, the conversation was going really well. The young guys really knew how to talk, and they provided a whole lot of emotional support. Until, suddenly, several familiar figures appeared at a booth not far away. I was stunned. I looked back at Emma, and she was also in a daze. Didn't you say this place is high-end and you're a top-tier VIP so there'd be absolutely no problems? I poked Emma in the back. How would I know? I inquired before coming. They were supposed to be at a dinner tonight. You're not still hung up on James and did this on purpose, are you? I didn't believe her. Remember, even though I'm a love-struck fool, I still have my bottom line. Emma spat back at me. Will James think I did this on purpose? Will he think I'm playing hard to get? She really had a wild imagination. Forget it, let's go back. What bad luck. Emma was still afraid that James would think she showed up in front of him on purpose and wanted to make a hasty escape. When these young ladies really cared about their pride, they wouldn't give in any aspect. Zachary, you take Emma back. After giving a hasty instruction, Emma quickly left. The young guy who was named attentively helped me carry my bag. Sis Sophia, come on, I'll see you off. The young guy grinned, full of youthful vigor. Youth is really wonderful. I like it. Okay, I'll go to the restroom first. But as soon as I stepped out of the restroom, someone suddenly grabbed my wrist. A force pulled me into the dark corner of the aisle and pinned me against the wall. Help. My mouth was covered by a warm palm, and a familiar scent wafted over. Don't be afraid, it's me. David, what are you doing? Your actions are really scary, you know? I was furious. I really thought I'd been kidnapped and sold to some inescapable mountain village just now. I was really scared out of my wits. David stared at me, his eyes a bit red and his voice extremely hoarse, like an injured rabbit. You blocked me on WeChat and phone. What do you mean? Just what it sounds like. I was a bit afraid to look at him. What exactly does that mean? He turned my face and forced me to look into his eyes. I kept struggling. Mr. Brown, please stop. My boyfriend is waiting for me to go home. Boyfriend? He laughed out of anger. The next second, his lips landed on mine. No way, this was my first kiss. I pushed him away with both hands. But the hand on my lower back suddenly tightened, and David held the back of my head, deepening the kiss. When I regained my breath, my legs were a bit numb, and I just let him hold me in his arms. His breathing was also a bit heavy. You were the one who started it. Sweetheart, you have to pay the price for playing with people's feelings. With that, he leaned in again. The air around us quickly heated up, filled with a faint sense of intimacy. That day, I went home with a blank mind and swollen lips, sent by David. I had no useful memory of what he said to the young guy on the phone. But it's okay, I remember now. He told the young guy to go first and that he'd send me home. I remembered because Emma was standing in front of me, roaring in frustration. Sophia, what on earth are you doing? One of us being a love-struck fool is enough. Are we really going to be a pair of love-struck sisters like they said? Before I could say a word, she went on. Did you forget about the day he was shopping with that girl? My mind went blank. I was so caught up in the plot of being forcefully kissed by the CEO yesterday that I completely forgot about this. After discussing the situation with Emma, I glanced at David's chat window, which I'd inexplicably unblocked at some point, and read, "Let me take you out for dinner later." After a brief pause, I blocked him again. You deserve someone better, Emma sighed, trying to comfort me. Maybe you should focus on James instead. I slumped over my desk, exhausted. The whole internet went crazy over that meaningful glance between you two at the first love auction. He's loaded, why didn't you even attend? Emma pressed my head against the desk, gritting her teeth. This is when you're supposed to say, sis, the tears are fake. Typical online heartbreak, scenic Northwest photos with angsty captions. My heartbreak, overtime shifts. By the time I clocked out, I briefly considered drowning my sorrows, but the thought of tomorrow's early work call sent me trudging home instead. Seeing the figure standing by my apartment door instantly made me regret not going out for drinks. Sophia, David approached, cutting off my escape route. His eyes were red-rimmed, like he might cry any second. Can someone explain why you blocked me again after locking lips last night? I tried pulling my hand back, but his grip tightened. Avoiding his gaze, I cleared my throat defensively. My boyfriend wouldn't approve. Yesterday if you keep lying, he cut me off coldly, I'll kiss you until you can't speak. Or did you forget who answered his call yesterday? Damn it. That slipped my mind. Shouldn't we communicate? He trapped me against the wall, clearly unwilling to let go until things were settled. Communicate? That corporate buzzword made my skin crawl. You don't even like me. And what about your girlfriend? I snapped, deciding to drop all pretenses. Emma and I saw you with that woman downtown. Since when did arrogant CEOs get to play around and still act wronged? David froze, then chuckled softly, ruffling my hair. That's my cousin. She lives abroad, almost no one here knows her. Huh? A colossal misunderstanding? Heat flooded my cheeks as embarrassment short-circuited my brain. So that's why you blocked me twice? Well, not entirely. He flicked my forehead lightly. And since when did I say I didn't like you? Then why have security stop me at your office? Some twisted CEO amusement? Before I could speak, he added, that memo just hadn't reached reception yet. Besides, didn't I personally collect every single thing you ever delivered? My breath hitched, surely this wasn't me being delusional. Promise not to block me? His lips brushed my ear before landing a feather-light kiss. Just ask me directly next time. I've liked you for years, he murmured. Back then, Sophia always stayed close to Emma, her radiant grin impossible to ignore. At first, David found it odd, why would an heiress like Emma suddenly have an inseparable ordinary college friend? Raised to scrutinize motives, he suspected Sophia sought some advantage. Until he once spotted her in a hospital ward, four in one arm, typing a report with the other, brushing off Emma's concern over the phone. Don't pull strings for me, RB * company isn't worth it. I love working here. Total freedom. Hey, remember my laptop charger? During the time when Emma was intensely pursuing James, it was common to see her figure around. But Sophia never once had any conversation or contact with anyone among them. Like an NPC, she would vanish after finishing tasks related to Emma. David unconsciously started paying attention to her being dragged by Emma to pretend to bump into James writing at a bar booth, her venting about the company one moment and patiently comforting colleagues dealing with problems the next, her befriending hotel front desk staff to dig for gossip, her complaining to friends about not wanting to work hard and wishing she could be a mistress to live comfortably ever after. He seemed to catch a glimpse of a different, vibrant, fascinating life. Being with her would probably be fun? That buried thought could no longer be suppressed the moment Sophia took the initiative to add his WeChat to get close. Even though he saw right through her just helping Emma chase James from the first glance, it didn't matter, he relished it. The news of me being with David, I didn't dare tell Emma at all. I had to keep it all secret undercover, mainly fearing it might trigger her. But I wasn't the type to forget friends over a relationship. I planned to probe deeper, infiltrate the enemy rear, and definitely get to the bottom of this James affair. At the same time, I was a bit worried about Emma catching me with David. But before Emma could, the big boss's mother found out first. Miss Williams, the elegant lady across the coffee shop, smiled politely, ready for the classic opener. I felt annoyed. Seriously, was this fling doomed to fizzle out after barely any time? At least let me milk the benefits first. We hadn't even kissed much before she'd be sending him abroad with money. I was kinda getting the short end of the stick. I think maybe we should all three sit down and discuss this, I cut off her next line. Strictly speaking, he pursued me. Why should I shoulder all the blame alone? It wasn't my move first, just like back in school when dating led to parents being called, why always pick on me and summon my dad? That made no sense. You've misunderstood, the lady hurriedly waved her hand. I'm not here to give you $5 million to stay away from my son. Huh? I wanted to talk with you about him. She said she loathed elite arranged marriages, phony, heartless, like a machine part fitted into the right slot to keep the whole system running smoothly and fast. She truly disliked David's father too, and by extension, never warmed to the son. He's good, polite, accomplished, has grown into a fine man. But that's because he spent his childhood constantly trying to win over his parents. Since the parents loathed each other, they avoided bonding with him. Even when hurling cruel words, they didn't care if he was present. He's terrified of arguing or fighting with anyone, the lady sighed. At home, he never dared lose his temper because doing so would bring beatings and scolding from both. I genuinely never realized he grew up in a family like that. Isn't it usually happy, loving homes that breed gentle personalities? I came today first to congratulate you, but also to ask you to look after him. His past might have been a bit bitter. She gave a bitter smile. But starting over, I doubt I'd change my choices. This time, consider it me fulfilling a mother's duty for him, let that ridiculous arranged marriage nonsense stop with him. Leaving the cafe, I suddenly longed to see him. Rushing to the Shin Corporation and sitting in his office waiting, I still felt a bit, poor David, my boyfriend, got stuck with the tragic childhood role. In what was supposed to be a sweet, doting boss romance, how could this happen? Baby, what's wrong? He finished his meeting, came in, and closed the door. I rushed over and hugged him without saying a word. What happened? He hugged me back gently. I shook my head. Were you wronged? Are you sick? No, I mumbled. Tell me so I know how to comfort you, silly girl. He ruffled my hair and bent down to look me in the eye. Your mom came to see me just now, I said carefully. David's gaze suddenly turned a bit colder. What did she want? I repeated what his mom said, then held him tight, acting all saint-like. Why do you always treat everyone so nicely? Show them the boss side of you. He was a mix of amusement and exasperation. I wondered why you suddenly got all sweet. Don't listen to her nonsense, I might have cared as a kid, but it's not that bad now. She's so overdramatic. Woo-woo, I felt even more saint-like and sorry for him, my kind-hearted, morally upright boss boyfriend. I hugged him tighter. And while at it, I casually felt up his abs, didn't feel like 8 packs, but at least 6. What are you doing? His voice grew husky. Where are your hands going? I narrowed my eyes mischievously and blew a soft breath near his ear. David's breathing visibly faltered. He almost bit my lip before suddenly seizing me like a beast taking over, devouring my breath. Lost in passion, a sudden knock snapped me back to reality. Someone's here. David paused, the desire still burning in his eyes, then dipped down for another lingering kiss. There's someone, I gasped, pushing him away. He looked resentful. Chicken. You're the chicken. Tell me you're not scared if someone films this and spreads it all over gossip groups? Terrifying to have a boss who doesn't understand media frenzy. I'm not feeling well, took cephalosporin, I really can't go. On the other end of the call, Emma took a deep breath. Sophia, this is the third time you've rejected me. If you're not on that bar stool in an hour, I'm coming over to slap you. This is why sneaking around sucks, always worrying about this and that. When I arrived, Emma stood arms crossed, scanning me. You've been acting really strange lately. What's strange? I yelled, make the voice loud enough and the confidence follows. You're avoiding me, she leaned in. Did you do something you can't face me about? No, I've just been busy lately. When will this guilt-ridden charade end? Emma sneered, I hope so. Come on, let me show you what I've got planned today. Good Lord. An innocent young male model? Sis has money, Emma waved grandly. Sophia, today you can do whatever you want. Why wasn't this great thing arranged earlier? Why did they have to wait until I had to abide by my morals? To keep Emma from getting suspicious, I tried my best to act as natural and carefree as before. I joined her, playing finger-guessing games with the young guys, chatting, playing games, and having a great time drinking and talking. I'm not sure if Emma was overly stimulated, but later she actually went down the line and touched the abs of all the male models one by one. I couldn't help but exclaim at how bold and exciting it was. But I have to admit, it really looked like she was having a blast. Come on, Sophia. Emma turned on the camera and was about to record this part of me. After silently saying sorry 3 times in my heart, I'd barely placed my hand on a couple of the guys when suddenly a shadow loomed beside me. James? I exclaimed. Emma, James. James' gaze landed on a young guy's hand on her waist, his eyes filled with frost. Emma, so you've got some nerve, huh? Emma's mouth was as sharp as a dagger because she said, Are you okay, dude? You really think you're some big shot CEO, spouting that kind of CEO-like nonsense? I've always been capable, and I've got plenty of nerve. James didn't waste any words with her. He stepped over the crowd and simply picked her up and carried her out. Are you crazy? Emma struggled. Sophia, save me. Let her go. I called on the young guys to stop James. I'm calling the police. What's wrong with you? You're ignoring the law. I'll film this and promote it so you'll be on the trending list. You bet I will. You really talk a lot, James said helplessly. Doesn't David find you annoying? What the hell? I didn't do anything wrong and yet I got scolded for no reason. What does he mean? Emma caught on to the clue in his words. Sophia Williams? Shut up. James held down her struggling body. Crazy guy. How could anyone like this kind of CEO who attacks people at the drop of a hat? I'll expose you on the internet today. Before I could finish saying expose you until you're ruined, James spoke to someone behind me. Control your wife. I turned my head in the direction of his gaze. David was staring at me, his expression unreadable. Huh? Emma struggled again. Sophia, what wife? James, let me go. So annoying. Even at a time like this, she still couldn't stop gossiping. Shut up. I'll settle the score with you when we get home. After saying that, James carried her away in big strides. I swallowed hard. It was Emma who insisted I come here. Go home. On the way, I secretly observed the person beside me. He was looking straight ahead, his face looking even colder. I can explain. We'll talk when we get home. Fine. What a cold-hearted we'll talk when we get home. As soon as we opened the door and went in, before I could even steady myself, I was suddenly pushed against the wall. This kiss was wilder than any before. It was like a beast that had broken free from its seal, finally getting a chance to vent its desires. Which hand touched? His voice was extremely hoarse. Huh? I was confused. He laughed out of anger, the male models, their abs. Which hand touched? The blush at the corners of his eyes seemed to glow in the dark, like a fierce beast in the night, making my scalp tingle. The next second, he covered me again. I didn't even have a chance to catch my breath. He gradually took control of my nerves, and my mind went blank. Slowly, the atmosphere started to feel a bit off. I felt his slightly cold hand slip under my clothes, gently testing my reaction. "David." My voice trembled. "You didn't call me that before, baby," he said in a hoarse voice, his eyes still clouded with desire. Remembering that time I called him David, my face flushed hot. The hand inside my bra kept kneading, and he leaned close to my ear, speaking in a whisper only we could hear. "You might regret not saying it." I was on the verge of tears. "David. David." The corners of his eyes darkened to a deep red as he stared at me like prey. The moment I was laid on the couch, I tightened my body instantly. I'm not ready yet." "Be good, I won't hurt you," he murmured, circling me and kissing my lips softly. Then came my collarbone. The scalding touch consumed me bit by bit, and I drifted into intoxication. Until a wrenching, excruciating pain jolted me awake. "It hurts. Didn't you promise to be gentle and not hurt me? This is way too painful." Tears choked my voice. "Sweetie, let's try going slower, okay? Be good," he coaxed softly, genuinely easing his pace and kissing away the tears welling in the corners of my eyes. But my legs kept shaking uncontrollably, my thighs clamping around his waist unintentionally. Who knew that would flip some switch in him? I couldn't help sobbing. "You jerk." "Darling," he covered my eyes. "Don't look at me like that, I can't hold back." "Beast." When I woke up the next day, it was already afternoon. Opening my eyes to see the person beside me, anger surged through me. "You lied to me." "Don't be mad," he pulled me close, grabbing something from the nightstand. "Let me apply some ointment, it'll help." I blushed fiercely. "No. Listen to me," he said gently. "Otherwise, you'll be crying about the pain later." "Then I'll do it myself." I snatched the ointment from his hand, my tone awkward. He chuckled. "Fine." Then he whispered something in my ear that made me flush crimson on the spot. "What exactly is up with James?" At the table, I suddenly thought of Emma. Wait, why did he carry Emma away yesterday? "Guess why," David sighed helplessly, adding food to my bowl. "Why did I carry you yesterday?" "We're talking about them, why bring that up?" My face flushed, and I felt flustered. But the first love situation just didn't add up, along with James's past attitude toward Emma. How should I know all the details? He laughed softly. "I just know he lost it last night." "Huh?" My eyes gleamed with gossipy curiosity. According to David, James was at a gathering yesterday when he saw Emma in someone's phone, groping a row of male models. His face turned completely dark. He sprang up and chased her to the bar. "And you," he sighed helplessly. Your laughter echoing out nearly drove me mad. "What about the first love?" David took forever to explain anything, so I decided to just ask Emma directly. No way I couldn't get to the bottom of this. James's brother died a while ago, and the first love was his brother's wife. I always thought James liked her. "So it wasn't?" "No," Emma said with a happy laugh, returning to her love-struck mood. "My sister-in-law explained it to me again." "Then why didn't he respond to you before?" I was puzzled. "Back in high school, we had a fight. I wrote in my diary that I super hated him, that I'd teach him a lesson someday. He always thought I hated him, wanted to mess with him." "You two are ridiculous." "What's wrong with your hand?" I asked her. Why was she rubbing her hand like that? Emma's face turned bright red. Thinking of that night with David, I instantly understood. Well, as long as everyone's happy. On the day David proposed, I secretly delighted at the drone swarm in the sky. This extravagant display, the upcoming viral hit on TikTok, I could ride that wave too, woo. Turns out I'm still into this domineering boss thing. "I have to sit at the main table at your wedding," Emma cried pitifully. "Without me, would you even have a domineering boss?" James helplessly supported her. "My dear ancestor, the doctor said your emotions shouldn't fluctuate too much right now." David and I watched them, sharing a knowing smile with each other. Successfully falling in love with someone you're smitten with is a long shot. But if it works out, it might mean a lifetime of luck. When fate provides a certain chance, all cowards must bravely move forward to possibly get what they want and make their dreams come true.